Hey, it's Mr. Barr, and in this video, we're going to be flipping functions. Okay. So I can graph various types of functions. Graphs are all around me in the world. I want to be able to understand and create them. I know that I keep referring to computer graphics at the start of each lesson. Computer graphics use math in order to flip a picture. Today we're going to explore how to mathematically flip a graph. So here is a person flipped over, not flipped over. Oh, actually, this is flipped over head to toe, and this one is flipped over left to right. All right, so in our notes, let's start with flipping functions. Name. Flipping functions. So let's start with this one. Y equals the absolute value of x. Yeah? Now watch, I'm going to flip it over. Y equals negative absolute value of x. The negative flips it over. See that negative? It just flips it over. But you're like, Mr. Barr, I don't believe you. You're lying to me. Well, let me see if I can prove it to you. So I'm not going to prove y equals absolute value of x because I've already shown that one to you multiple times. But here we go. We're going to do the flip of this. So let's throw out our net. And our net is going to be, ready? -1, 0, 1. Okay. The absolute value of -1 is 1. But this negative turns it into a -1. The absolute value of 0 is 0, but the negative turns it into still a 0. The absolute value of 1 is 1, but this negative turns it into a -1. Let's graph it. -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, -1. Notice we just flipped it over. So if it's positive, I'd have a v like this, but with a negative, it flips it over. The negative really does flip it over. Well, does the same idea work with the other functions we've been dealing with? There's the flipped one. And the answer is, yes, it does. So let's go back to our notes. The other function we know is y equals the square root of x, which would look like this. And now we're going to flip it. Y equals negative square root of x. Which would look like that. And once again, you're like, Mr. Barr, you're such a liar. I don't believe you. Well, let me help you believe me. Here, I'll help you believe you. And same thing on the cube root. So let me help you believe me on the square root and the cube root. So for a normal square root, if you go back to the first lesson we did with this, I would throw in a 0, a 1, a 4, and a 9. Ready? Plug in a 0. Square root of 0 is 0. Plug in a 1. Square root of 1 is 1, but that makes it a -1. Plug in a 4. Square root of 4 is 2, but that makes it a -2. Plug in a 9. Square root of 9 is 3, but that makes it a -3. Let's see. 0, 0. 1, -1. 4, -2. 9, -3. Look, it flipped it over. How about this one? Do you remember the net we used on this one? That was probably 2 lessons ago. I would plug in -8, -1, 0, 1, 8. All right. Cube root of negative 8 is negative 2, but this negative makes it a positive 2. Cube root of negative 1 is negative 1, but that negative makes it a positive 1. 0 is just 0. Cube root of 1 is 1, but that negative makes it a negative 1. Cube root of 8 is 8, but that negative makes it, cube root of 8 is 2, but that negative makes it a negative 2. Let's graph it. Negative 8, positive 2. Negative 1, positive 1, 0, 0. So it flipped the s over. Normally our s's would go like this, but you can see it flipped it over. Normally our u's would go like this, but it flipped it over. Normally our v's would look like, whoa, not like that. Like, man, that's a horrible v. I think you get the idea though. It flips it over. Let's go back to our notes. And we'll do the cube root function. The negative flips it. So the negative flips the function. The negative flips the graph. In the last lesson, we learned about translations, how to move it. So what this is, I find the start, and then I know it's going to flip. So this guy right here, let's put this into our notes, y equals So where is the center of this? The center, not the center, the vertex. The vertex is at 1, 2. So I know it's a V, and I know that it's flipped. So when I'm looking at this, I can right away draw it. I know that it's at 1, 2. Did I say that before? 1, 2. Uh-oh. Why am I not drawing? Because I have to click draw. Oh, I just lost it. Why did I lose it? Okay. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm doing this whole time? I'm trying to draw on my drawing pad, and I'm using a pen and not the stylus. Okay, I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. All right, and I am back. So when I'm looking at this guy, I know that the center of it is at 1, 2. And I know it's a V, and I know it's a flipped, and I know that this is how I might make my V's. There it is. So there it is, it's a flipped V. So this guy, it is a flipped half U on its side. So I know that this guy is at 2, 0. Yeah, there's no number over here, so I threw in a 0. 2, 0. And it's a U on its side. So over 1, down 1. Over 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2. Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, down 1, 2, 3. It's just following the patterns that I've already learned. There it is. I know what to expect on each of these. This is an S shape that's been flipped and moved. So where's it going to move to? It's going to move to -2, -3, -2, -3, and it's a flipped S. So up 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, right? Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down 2, because I know the cube root of 8. Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, that one's really not there. Ignore this one. Ignore that. And there's the S-shaped that's flipped. The negative flips it. The numbers here translate it. All right. So let's talk about this one. What shape is it? It's a V. Is it flipped? No flip. Where's the center of it? 3, 4. It's an unflipped V at 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. There's my shape. What is this? Well, this is, it's a half U. Right? It's a half U. Oh, but it's flipped. So it's a half U like this. And where's the center of it, or the start of it? It's at -2, -5. So I go -2. There it is. There's my shape. It's a flipped half U that started its life at -2, -5. Okay, this is an S shape. It's an S, right? This is our basic S, like that. Does it get flipped? Yeah, no flip. Does it move? Yeah, it moves. It moves to 1, 4. So I go to 1, 4. And right there, right, I draw my S through it. It's not flipped. This is a flipped V. So it's a V, but this guy right there is flipping it. So it's a flipped V. And where's the center of it? At 3, 0, right? There's a +0 here. So I go to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, and I flip my V. All right, this is a flipped half U on its side. All right, so I know it's a flip. And, you know, I'm going to write it like this. Y equals -√x + 0 minus 5. So the center of this is at 0, -5. 0, -5. And it's a flipped half U on its side. All right, this is a flipped S. It's a flip. Do you see the flip right there? I know it's an S because of the cube root. And where's the center of this? It's at -3, 3. So I go to -3, 3. There's my center. And I know it's a flipped S. So I just build in the points for a flipped S. And I think that's my last slide. It is! Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.